On a late summer afternoon in August 1100, King William II of England, known as William Rufus for his ruddy complexion, rode into the New Forest to hunt. By sunset, the 43-year-old king lay dead, an arrow through his chest. What seemed like a fantastical royal accident ripped from a drama was grim reality. The enigmatic death of this controversial monarch has sparked speculation for centuries, a cold case etched into history's shadowy corners. William Rufus, third son of William the Conqueror, inherited England in 1087, while his eldest brother Robert took Normandy. The youngest brother Henry received wealth but no land, positioning him as a perpetual outsider. For 13 years, William ruled with an iron fist, clashing with the church, exiling Archbishop Anselm, and earning a reputation for vice. Monks branded him hated by almost all his people and abhorrent to God. Yet he held the realm together, quelling rebellions, expanding Norman power into Wales and Scotland, and temporarily securing Normandy when Robert left for the First Crusade. By 1100, tensions simmered. Robert, returning from the Crusades, threatened William's hold on Normandy. Henry, ever ambitious, lingered at court. Against this backdrop, William rode into the New Forest on August 2nd, a place already haunted by tragedy. His brother Richard had died there years earlier, crushed by a branch during a hunt. Locals whispered of curses, believing the woods punished Norman arrogance. The forest, a royal hunting ground since the conqueror's reign, was a tangled maze of oaks and secrecy, perfect for ambushes or accidents. The hunt unfolded like a scripted tragedy. William, accompanied by Henry and nobles, including Sir Walter Tyrrell, chased stags through the woods. Chronicles later wove omens into the tale, a monk's warning of a death-predicting nightmare, dismissed by the king. As twilight bathed the forest, William wounded a stag and called for Tyrrell to finish it. Instead, Tyrrell's arrow struck the king. William collapsed, the shaft piercing his lung. Chaos erupted. Tyrrell fled to France. The party scattered, abandoning the king's body. Peasant laborers later hauled William's corpse to Winchester Cathedral on a cart, where he was buried hastily under a plain slab. No pomp, no mourning. Henry's actions screamed opportunism. With Robert absent, he raced to Winchester, seized the treasury, and had himself crowned King Henry I within 3 days, bypassing the Archbishop of Canterbury. To contemporaries, this was no grieving brother. It was a power grab. Tyrrell, the accused archer, faced no consequences. Henry even preserved Tyrrell's estates, fueling whispers of complicity. Years later, Tyrrell denied guilt, blaming an unseen archer, a claim few believed. Medieval chroniclers, cautious but skeptical, framed the death as divine retribution for William's sins, yet their subtext hinted at darker truths. Historians remain split. Was it a tragic mishap? Medieval hunts were perilous. Stray arrows were common, yet the timing was uncanny. Henry, the youngest brother, leapfrogged Robert's stronger claim, exploiting William's death to seize a throne he'd never legally inherit. Robert, returning to reclaim his birthright, waged war but lost, leaving Henry unchallenged. Modern scholars dissect the logistics. Could Tyrrell's shot have been deliberate? Why did no one stand trial? Why did Henry reward loyal hunters with lands and titles? The lack of a formal inquest, common for royal deaths, reeks of a cover-up. The New Forest, twice witness to royal bloodshed, holds its secrets. William Rufus's legacy, a crown won by conquest, lost to an arrow, and a mystery that refuses to fade. His death reshaped England's future, securing the throne for Henry I, whose 35-year reign stabilized the realm but began in shadows. Even today, the forest's ancient oaks seem to murmur of betrayal, their roots tangled with the bones of kings. Was it fate or fratricide? A king's recklessness or a brother's treachery? The truth lies buried, as elusive as the stag William chased on that fatal August day, a royal enigma where history and myth bleed into one. In the early 13th century, a royal mystery unfolded that would stain the reign of King John of England with infamy. In April 1203, Arthur of Brittany, a 15-year-old duke, nephew to the king, and claimant to the English throne, vanished without a trace while imprisoned at Rouen Castle. His disappearance sent shockwaves across medieval Europe, reshaping politics, toppling empires, and branding John as a treacherous kinslayer. To this day, Arthur's fate remains one of history's most haunting, unsolved crimes, a dark saga of ambition, betrayal, and the brutal calculus of power. Arthur of Brittany was born in 1187 into the turbulent Angevin dynasty. His father, Geoffrey Plantagenet, fourth husband of Henry II, died before his birth, leaving Arthur as a pawn in the vicious game of succession. As grandson of Henry II and nephew to Richard the Lionheart and John, Arthur's bloodline made him a threat. Richard, childless, initially named Arthur his heir, but by 1199, as the Lionheart lay dying, he shifted allegiance to his brother John. The reasons remain murky. Was Arthur too young, too influenced by France? Or did John's ruthless ambition simply outmaneuver him? When Richard died, two claimants emerged. John, 32, a battle-hardened but unpopular prince, and Arthur, 12, championed by King Philip II of France. Philip, seizing on Arthur's claim to Brittany, Anjou, and Aquitaine, aimed to fracture the Angevin Empire. John, crowned in England, faced rebellion in France, where nobles saw Arthur as the rightful heir. By 1202, war erupted. In July 1202, Arthur, now 15, made a bold gambit. With French backing, he besieged Mirebeau Castle in Poitou, trapping his 80-year-old grandmother, Eleanor of Aquitaine, John's mother, and the dynasty's matriarch. It was a master stroke. Capturing Eleanor would cripple John's legitimacy, but John, often derided as a sluggish commander, moved with uncharacteristic speed. In a daring night march, he ambushed Arthur's forces at dawn, crushing the rebellion and capturing the young duke. Arthur was hauled to Falaise Castle, where John faced a dilemma. Killing a royal kinsman violated chivalric code, but sparing Arthur risked endless revolt. Chroniclers claim John ordered Arthur's mutilation, blinding, and castration to render him unfit to rule. Hubert de Burgh, Arthur's jailer, refused, spreading rumors of the boy's death instead. The ploy backfired. Enraged Bretons rebelled, forcing John to transfer Arthur to Rouen under the watch of loyalist William de Braose. By April 1203, Arthur vanished. No body, no funeral, only silence. There are theories of a prince's fate. The darkest account comes from Margam Abbey's chronicle. A drunken John murdered Arthur with a stone, then dumped his body in the Seine. French sources echo this, alleging John slew his nephew with his own hand. If true, it was a sacrilege, a king killing his divine-ordained vassal and kin. Others blame William de Braose, John's henchman. After Arthur's disappearance, de Braose was lavishly rewarded, fueling suspicions. In 1208, his wife, Matilda, publicly accused John of murder. Her punishment? Starvation in John's dungeons, a brutal silencing. Shakespeare later dramatized Arthur's death as a tragic fall during an escape, a sanitized tale for Tudor audiences, perhaps, but one that persists. Arthur's disappearance doomed John's continental reign. King Philip II, citing feudal law, summoned John to Paris to answer for his nephew's fate. John refused, giving Philip pretext to seize Normandy, Anjou, and Aquitaine. By 1204, the collapse of the Angevin Empire. In England, Arthur's ghost haunted John's reign. Nobles distrusted a king who'd kill his own blood. By 1215, this mistrust boiled over into rebellion, forcing John to sign the Magna Carta, a humiliating check on royal power. Arthur's fate remains a riddle. Was he butchered in a Rouen cellar, drowned in the Seine, or did he vanish into myth, a medieval ghost prince? Whatever the truth, his disappearance reshaped Europe. Philip II's confiscation of John's lands marked France's rise, and England's retreat from the continent. John's tyranny, magnified by Arthur's death, led to Magna Carta and his eternal infamy as England's worst king. The Plantagenets never escaped the stain. Even Henry III, John's son, faced rebellions invoking Arthur's name. Today, Arthur of Brittany is a shadow, a reminder of how power corrupts, and how the quest for a crown can devour even the innocent. His story lingers in Rouen damp stones, the Seine's murky depths, and the chilling question, what really happened to the boy who dared challenge a king?